Number 15. Cat videos can only be this creepy when they're from Russia. They leave the cat on the bed and go into the living room, which they think is haunted, and put down the camera. Caught on tape is some strange activity, perhaps paranormal, or really weird things to say the least. One of them is behind the chair moving things. I'm sure some will say, I thought the same thing, but when I first showed them walking into the room at 1 minute and 2 seconds, you and I both get a glimpse under the chair. Nothing is there. Did they crawl under the camera after they put it down, or is something supernatural haunting the house like they claim? Number 14. You'll need to say your prayers if you're planning to spend a night in this creepy monastery. YouTuber Franco TV braves an overnighter at the haunted place known as the Devil's Monastery, and he immediately starts feeling unsettled.
Alright, I made it back out here, and it is horrifying, and starts kind of like pushing me in towards the church, where I feel like I'm protected slightly until I start having other weird encounters inside.
This time isn't any different for Franco. Once inside, he hears something.
Look what they did. They completely took down the cross and leaned it up against the wall. Hey, I think it was upstairs.
So he heads upstairs, but then starts hearing things downstairs.
What? Weird. I have my stuff right there.
Franco heads back down to the room to investigate.
It legit sounds like moving. Coming from the inside of here.
At first, he doesn't hear anything more significant, but then, as he continues forward, this is heard.
Yes.
Something moved back there.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
Something did legit move, and as he continues to search the haunted place, he hears yet another spooky voice.
I'll check over here.
This place is paranormal gold, and in my opinion, Franco's got some guts to visit this demonic place solo. I'd either need a posse to join me, or I'd have to steer clear of this pure evil. Number 13. When a Shadow Welcomes You, Run and Hide, published by Polish Paranormal TV in October of 2021, this scary video explores a haunted place in Poland. Upon entering, the team uses a spirit box as they head up the stairs. Right away, the spirits start speaking. According to a translation, the spirit says either "I'm here" or "welcome here," but how welcome are they? Later, while walking down a hallway, a shadowy figure is spotted leaning against the door frame. You can see it more clearly in slow motion. Do you see it? If you do, this figure will haunt your eyes for eternity. Number 12. When you hear some unusual noise in your everyday life, do you ever stop to think, what in the world was that? Redditor Shadow Husky 1 did when he heard this strange sound coming from his parents' closet. Husky writes, just moved in, house built in the late 50s. When the boy walks into his parents' bedroom, you can see his reflection in the floor-length mirror. Somebody's here, he says. As some note in the comments, at the 90-second mark, a strange shadow crosses the camera. Actually, it looks more like a blur or a smudge than a shadow. He asks the thing to please make a noise, and unfortunately it responds.
Please make a noise.
As the boy is backing away from the door, you can hear what sounds like clothes hangers clang together. He then enters an adjacent bathroom connected to the closet. As he tries to flick the light a dozen times, a woman's voice can be heard for a moment. Who is it? What do they want? Is there a spirit haunting this closet? If so, what happened here? Shadow Husky doesn't stay long enough to find out. Can't blame him. Number 11. A team of paranormal experts head to the abandoned county jail in Gonzales, Texas to prove it is really haunted. After exploring for a while, all of them agree that they are feeling an intense anger for no real reason. Finally, one of them decides to confront whatever is responsible for causing their heightened emotional state.
We've been feeling a lot of anger, and I want to know why.
The question is met with even greater anger in return.
You're right.
According to them, an invisible hand slides around his throat and tightly squeezes. The retching noises he makes afterwards seems very real. He runs out of the building and his eyes appear red and watery immediately afterwards.
I feel the pressure right now on my neck.
Look at your man. You gotta see your eyes. Come lift up the screen so you can see your eyes, man. Look at your eyes.
Unless he is somehow able to give himself fully red eyes on command, all of this evidence makes me believe that this ghost incident could have been real. Number 10. Strange noises have been happening in Peter's house since he moved in 2 weeks ago. Published in December of 2009, Peter Yan TV writes, "It happened again last night, and I was brave enough to capture this on tape." Loud clashing occurs as Peter turns on his camera in a dark hallway. He flicks on the light and looks downstairs. The sound stops. He loudly walks down the wooden stairs, likely to scare whoever or whatever is there. He finds nothing in the room downstairs, at least nothing that we can see. When he heads back upstairs, he flicks off the light and heads back into his room. He hears something slam downstairs, and then what sounds like slow footsteps up the stairs. He waits in fear, and they just keep coming, louder and louder. And then a shoe is thrown at him from out of the darkness. When he runs forward, there's nothing on the stairs or in the hallway. As many in the comments say, this dude should be leaving every light in the house on. Number 9. What would you do if you lived in a haunted house? YouTuber Charles Larita and the Mischief decided to film it. He posted this video in June of 2011, writing, "My house is seriously haunted, and I'm still freaked out about this." In the video, he claims he always hears noises coming from his room, even when there's no one there. And while he's in his room, he feels a strange presence. After setting up a camera at night with the lights on, he discovered something strange around 2 hours into the footage. Here's what he found. The video shows a shot of the room, somewhat unfocused, with a chest of drawers, a black guitar case leaning up against it, and a door. After a moment, the light on the chest of the drawers starts to shake back and forth slightly. Something falls off the top of the chest, and then the door to the left swings close with exactly no one in sight. Many in the comments are freaked out by this bizarre clip, with BTS Nelly Thickums writing, "Move out of that house." Others agree they would have hightailed it out of that place. What would you do if this was your home? Number 8. A British family seems to be haunted by a spirit they call Freddy. Unlike most other families with a lingering paranormal problem, they seem to have gotten used to being haunted for the most part and largely ignore Freddy, laugh at him, or otherwise treat him as if he's a bratty child. It's an unusual technique that's made for some interesting videos from 2017 to 2018.
Come on, Freddy. I know we call you Freddy, but we don't know what to call you yet. But we like it.
I guess this ghost simply doesn't like to be addressed by the wrong name because nothing touches the can, and yet it makes a noise and goes flying. They never do call it Freddy again after this, at least not to its face. I don't see how this is faked because I don't see a string. In fact, I don't see a string in any of their videos, like this one for example. No string shows against the dark window as this phone lifts up and slams back down only when she tries to say hello.
Don't touch her. You don't have to touch her. No.
And later they turn the light on just to prove that it's not fake.
Come on. Put the light on. Put the light on. Look, the light is on. You can clearly see there is no fishing wire or strings.
If this isn't a ghost, then tell me how it's being done because I really don't know.
It's just hovering. Look at that.
Most of the activity seems to be happening in this living room. When they are all in the kitchen, stuff in the room always seems to move, almost like Freddy is trying to get them to come over here. Aside from the phone, this dog picture seems to be its next favorite object to animate and suspend in midair.
You'll be alright. Oh yeah. I'm not lying, the picture is levitating. I can't...
I suppose somebody could have been standing on a ladder off camera and using a string for the last video, but I don't see it. And there are other videos like this one where they show the full room. And look at that flashing red light. It looks like the ghost may have left them a voice message, which they unfortunately don't play. I would have really liked to have heard Freddy's real voice. Here they are on a different day, standing all the way on the other side of the house, and here the picture is bobbing up and down all on its own, while the curtains move about on their own. The windows are up, so it's not somebody running a wire from outside. There's just no easy explanation for this one. Then, to make matters even more confusing, the picture simply drops on its own as if the ghost is done playing with it. When the mother goes to pick it up, the overhead lamp starts swinging all on its own. Swinging lights are another tactic Freddy uses to try and drive them mad. It is one of the things that seems to honestly annoy the mother, and that's probably why Freddy is always doing it so often. First, it swings back and forth, and then when that fails to get a reaction from them, it starts to move in small nauseating circles. Before you say that the camera person must be pulling on it with a string, consider that there's clearly no string to be seen, and that the light over the living room, where no one is standing mind you, is doing the exact same thing. Plus, I really don't think they'd risk breaking the lamp by swinging it this hard themselves, and the more they ignore it, the harder the lights swing. Freddy gets so upset that he figures out how to express his anger in a new way.
The door, the door. Look at that. The door's never done that, ever. Wow.
Nobody touches the door at all. Nobody is anywhere near that part of the house. At 49 seconds is when you should be able to see a string connected to the door, but even at half speed and zoomed in, no string is to be found. It's truly closing by itself. And in this window, where objects are always moving, stands the outline of Freddy. Some videos seem much more easy to explain than others. Somebody could be shaking the table from underneath.
And? What? The table's moving. Oh. Alright, stop that now. Look at the cat. I know.
While other videos seem unexplainable even years later, I would have liked to have seen the other side of this picture to see if they were using high-powered magnets, but I guess we'll never get the chance. I find it interesting that Freddy seems to be confined to the kitchen and living room areas. Something bad must have happened here to confine it to these areas of the house. Perhaps its anger will one day allow it to explore the rest of the home. In the meantime, they don't know what it is or what it's trying to tell them, and they don't really seem to care, and their indifference only seems to make Freddy grow more determined to grow stronger and show them his true form. Number 7. Is this a poltergeist or faulty wiring? Redditor Raynoke wants to know. Let's see what you think.
So I'm not really sure what's causing this. That's a break room right there. It flickers on and off constantly. There's a lot of motion sensors in these rooms. The office that it's adjacent to.
He captures the activity again.
There it goes off again. It's very random, so leads me to believe that something is going on in there.
This time the light doesn't return for a while. As he walks toward it to check out what's up, it turns on again.
Okay, there we go. When I walk in here, the lights are going to turn off in here as well. Turn on, I mean.
Is there something in this break room? I'm not sure with this one. Faulty wiring is just as plausible as poltergeist activity. Number 6. When you experience regular poltergeist activity in your home, monitoring it becomes top priority. YouTuber Donnie Drunkard shares this VR 360 video from a GoPro Max of his home's demonic activity. You can hear faint knocks or footsteps repeatedly. More unexplained sounds unfold.
Well,
Not long after, there's a major smashing noise, followed by REM pod activity. You can also hear faint voices at this point, maybe from a TV turning on. Not long after, this happens. And again, it sounds like the TV has been turned on or someone is speaking. The voice comes and goes throughout the remainder of the clip, but turning 360, you can't see anything on. And lastly, the spirits play a short tune. This video is particularly unsettling to me because you can see all 4 corners of the room at any time, so you know nobody is pulling the strings. I'm convinced that Donnie's house is haunted, and considering the noises, the demon doesn't sound friendly. Number 5. A Dutch YouTuber named Govert Sweep and his friends go well past their limits while exploring an old place in the forest that's scary enough to have them jumping at every noise, of which I'll admit there's way too many.
Absurd dat daar nu iemand boven. Was dat jij dat?
I've heard of a house settling, but this sounds like the opposite, like a spooky house is ramping up in a bad way, a haunted place where everything has gone wrong long ago.
Wat was dat dan? Je was nou snoeps. Je was nou snoeps. Je was nou snoeps.
I probably would have already been out of there, but they decide to keep seeing what there is to find, which is one of the shadiest entrances to any basement I've ever seen.
Oh, nee.
They go down there long enough to record only a few seconds of footage before getting out fast, and for good reason. Yes, something scary could be lurking among the rubble, but there are also structural concerns as well. The place looks ready to collapse on them, so they made the right decision because no scary ghost or creature video is worth taking that kind of risk. Number 4. While exploring a haunted location in Orlando, Redditor Callie1939 captured this on SLS video. Watch closely. Later, as they walked past that same area, many in the comments think the Connect is simply picking up 2 gravestones, which is why it jumped to the next 2 gravestones, making it look like the figure was walking away from them. I tend to agree, but it is curious that the EM detector went off in the same location. What do you think? Number 3. One of the most fearsome visions of a shadow person ever caught on camera. This clip will have any skeptic questioning things. Originally published by Ghosts of Carmel, Maine, this scary video was captured by its haunted homeowner. As the homeowner enters a bedroom, a full shadow figure is seen sitting on the bed, outlined by the light from the window. The man panics and steps out of the room for a moment. A split second later, when he returns, the figure has vanished. Are you convinced of the existence of shadow figures? I am. Number 2. Is there something in the attic? Redditor Air Icer suspects so. After hearing tapping on the attic wall, they meet it with Sage. And this is what they captured. What was that sound? I tend to agree with Titus that this sounds like a metallic spring bang, but that doesn't necessarily negate a paranormal presence. Perhaps the spirit's just jumping up and down on the bed. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1. This one might be harder to hear, but it's worth it. While investigating, YouTubers Ghost Dimension heard something strange at Newsham Park Hospital in Liverpool, England. Listen closely.
That's how I can understand it. It said something, but not like our language.
Oh my god, like tongue goes.
Yeah, that's poltergeist.
Is it?
Foreign tongue. And a growl.
Tongues.
First, they hear voices in a foreign tongue, and as they listen, they hear a snap. A little later, they hear more unexplained sounds.
Yeah. I heard that. Yes. I heard that.
Please. I'm getting a bad feeling.
Oh, don't, please don't.
No, I don't.
To me, it sounds like distant footsteps and voices. And then, immediately after Neil asks if anyone is there, you can hear a subtle humming.
Should we go upstairs? Go down. Because that woman's downstairs. I'll go up. Yeah.
And as they're about to head downstairs, they hear an undeniable racket from the basement.
I just got a feeling that there's more than one.
When the sound gets louder, they hightail it upstairs.
That's not good. Should we go in? Yeah.
Neil, stay with me. Neil. Neil, There's something behind us.
There was definitely something in that haunted hospital with them. I'm not sure if it was paranormal or perhaps another group of investigators, but hearing it without seeing anything put me on edge.